Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the Music Talks podcast. I'm your host, Bobby Rose. So the song that you just heard, honestly, even I don't know what the title is. This man just like straight up sent me the clip and I thought it was a very interesting song. And now it's embedded into the introduction theme music. But if you've heard his voice, or rather that kind of musicality, you would know that he's been on this podcast about twice before. And he's still here with me today answering more tech questions. So ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Hazziq Aizat.
Yeah, bro, I'm here. My name is Hazziq Aizat. Just call me Hazziq, yeah.
Yo. And also another person that we have tonight. How do I explain this? She's one of the many people that I've had in my list to approach since last year for this podcast. It's just that I never had an in with her. I've been following her Instagram for a long time, and I realized that she does a lot of she plays a lot around with a lot of niche music tech. Like she has a V drums. I think she recently got a pair of V drums. She's a bassist, but then she plays drums and she jams with a friend of hers a lot. And even right now, I'm like looking at her like space station. Like she has like multiple consoles all around. Maybe she can talk about that later on. So ladies and gentlemen, also with us, we have Georgy Hesky.
Okay, hi, my name is Georgy. I'm from Sarawak, basically. And I'm graduate from UPSI and also Aswara. So basically what you see, I actually play bass. It's just that I love to play other instrument. But in the Instagram, I just post with whatever I like to play.
That's nice.
Let's just clear this up. Did you set your room to look this nice just for the podcast? Or is this like everyday wake up like this?
Okay, the one that you always saw in the Instagram, on my Instagram, this is the setup. Like this is place that I play the keyboard. This is my beat production, and this is my SPD. So this is my comfort zone where whenever I doing some post-production music or maybe recording or I just jam. I have my keyboard down there, so I don't know where to put my acoustic guitar. I think that's my friend. I don't know why. So my friend also come here in my room, jam, and then we do some video production. Also, I have cajon outside. I can't bring it here because I put my water on it.
Yeah.
So yeah.
I will assume like you might like accidentally trip over your 100-watt amplifier or other stuff.
You can say that.
Yeah.
Tingles.
Yeah. See, Hazziq, people like her make people like us like cry. And just like, what have we been doing, man? We've been tarnishing the music name.
Yeah, I should quit. Not you though, just me. Yeah.
Nah, but you've been doing a lot of music sides. Like you've been making songs, and let's just. What about the song that we just heard earlier on? Like, how long did it take to make that song? Why did you make the song? What's the name of the song?
Okay. For now, let's start with the inspiration of the song. Okay. I wanted to do something a bit different, not really different, but some kind of a fusion. Yeah. So I tried combining modern and traditional. So that's where the instrument comes in, where you can hear like some Asian elements and some modern hip hop elements. So yeah, that's all it is actually. That's what I was trying to create, the vibe, that kind of vibe. But yeah, even now, if you see it now, it's called Gucheng, Kuching.
Mm-hmm.
So it's called that for now, but we'll see in the near future if it has its own identity. I'm sure. Yeah.
So if you listen to an episode, ladies and gentlemen, this past episode, actually a few episodes before, I always talk about my love for technology. Some of the heroes that I not look up to, some of the people that I admire on the internet. would be MKBHD, Aaron from Mr. Who's the Boss. And this is all like tech, mobile phone, smartphone people. And it actually got me thinking, what about the tech in music, you know? Like what's the balance between technological innovation, but still sticking to quality, I guess? And that's really the point of the episode today, because Mr. Hazziq Aizat, he's just like this, my slave when it comes to like every musical technology question. And today he signed on once again. But no, I really respect
Slave is like a strong word. Maybe a minion.
Igor. There you go.
Yeah.
And also based on Georgie's background, because she's a performance student, that, like I said, she does delve into a lot of music tech stuff. So I was just thinking, like, we're just going to go through a few evolutions, innovations, and just, you know, ask you guys on a scale of 1 to 10, what do you think? Like, how applicable is it? Is it good? Is it bad? Is it a bad idea? Oh, because of this, music is just going to go to hell, or, you know. So let's just dive right in, yeah?
Sure.
Okay. So the first one that we have about wireless headphones. Okay, let me give you guys a situation, you know? Using wireless headphones rather than those wired headphones to do music stuff. Not just music production, but I'm talking about music recording performances, you know, those IEMs, but imagine like wireless in-ear monitors, just because it's the future of the technology. So do you guys agree with that?
Georgie?
On the scale 1 to 10, I'd say maybe 4. I prefer wired, honestly. I prefer wired. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Actually, same. Yeah, I prefer to go wired. Yeah, and there's a lot of reasons for that. I mean, for me, for my opinion.
There is no debate, right, when it comes to like latency and issue. I mean, like, it just doesn't make sense for music people to use wireless audio tech. Don't you guys think so? Or is there actually a time that
Probably, I would say in the future, there could be a future where we are all, go wireless everywhere. There could be a future in that, but for now, I think in the next 20 or 30 years, probably, yeah, probably, but not now. Yeah.
Yeah.
then how can you guys explain about those you know, you have like Jared Leto from 30 Seconds to Mars, like climbing up like what do you call that, cabinet amplifiers and all, and he still has his guitar on because it's wireless. So how can there be wireless, like what do you call those, wireless pickups, wireless connections to them, but no
Yeah.
good quality, like latent, like lossless audio wireless headphones? How is that still a missing part?
For me, because it's like this. It depends on the context. I mean, for me, it depends on the context. If you're performing on something and like on stage, we could say that. Um, okay, the problem that I have with wireless technology is that about the receiver and all. It's just that I mean, if even if you have a Bluetooth device, like for example a Bluetooth earphone, okay, and then you listen to it on your phone. For example, you clean the house, you put it in one spot. Then when you go a bit further, it's gonna stutter, it's gonna have problems.
Mhm.
But if you stay in front, it's gonna be good. But still, it's not as good as wired. You still have that little delay, little latency from my experience. Even if I'm using my wireless and then I'm just hearing here from here, and yeah, I'm still having problem with that. So that's like I would not compromise that for quality for me. Yeah.
Georgie, what about you? Because it's very interesting that you right now are using wireless, well, those AirPods, I think. Yeah.
Yep.
But you
Okay.
sound fine. Yeah.
Okay. So the one with your question is using wireless for for all around music, right?
Yeah.
So when you listen to music stuff, scales 1 to 10, I think it's 10 because it looks more pros without wire, right? But
Yeah.
when it comes
True.
to
Yeah.
when it comes to issue like transmitting or receiving, I think from the scale 1 to 10, I scale 4 because you might have some issue with the latency or maybe some issue with the connectivity, right? So that's why
Yeah.
we always have a good cable with a good material. So that cable is actually giving you more accurate sound. I can say that sound now, but for listening music, I think I go for wireless. So I for scale 1 to 10, I will still go for 4. So I still prefer with wired.
Okay. Yeah, I agree with what Georgie said just now. I mean, even if you buy a Sony headphone nowadays, you in the back you will still get the wire, right? The cable for the headphone. So in what that symbolizes for me is that they say that they can give you a wireless experience, but if there's an if, okay, there's an if the wireless doesn't work, here's the cable. So there's a possibility of the they could not promise you're gonna go for wireless for everything. Yeah.
Yeah. Some would argue that the reason they give you cable is just for option. And also, if your headphones run out, yeah, I assume you're just talking about, we're just talking about the best. So the best would be like one of those WH 1000 XM 1000 XM4s. Uh, and those
Yeah.
come with cables, but if your headphones run out of battery, then you will still be able to use it with the cable. So I always thought it's one of those. So let's change the context a bit. What about headphones rather than earbuds or earphones? Is there like a headphones, those $2,000 Sennheisers and whatever, or that's the peak of it? And then you versus like a cheaper headphones, and then a lower level of that will be expensive earphones, and then yeah. So is there like or rather, should every musician should just stick to proper headphones? Like it's a sin to use earbuds or earphones. Is it?
I would say no, it's not a sin. Yeah. It's preference for me. It's preference. Up to the musician themselves. Some are comfortable with using headphones. Some are comfortable with using earbuds. Rather, I mean, depending on mobility or the comfort of it. So yeah, it depends on every musician themselves. But I wouldn't say I would not side with one side. I mean, both of the devices have their own purposes for me. Yeah.
Yeah. And Georgie, what do you think?
Okay, so my experience, since I play bass, I need to hear low bass. So using the headphone, I think I'm able to hear every surrounding.
Yeah.
But using the in-ear, I'm only able to hear the driver. Like now I'm using, I'm able to hear um, accurate voice from you. But if I use the headphone, I'm able to hear all surrounding. That's why when you do mixing, you need to use headphone because you need to hear every sound. So I think depend. Maybe it depends. Some musicians they prefer in ear, but I will prefer both.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I have a question for Georgie. I mean, when we uh, do like a post production, we have to what I mean is we have to refer our sound through um other devices, right? Like um references. Like we have to play on laptop, we have to play on car, we have to play it using a common earbuds,
Yeah.
right? So what's your approach to what's your approach to that kind of thing? Would you rather go w- would you rather mix or master your music according to one type of thing, one type of device? Like for example, you mix on solely on so it would sound good on studio headphones, or would you go rather compromise on every device?
I say all device because I make a comparison, like the one that you're saying. If you play music in your car, it will sound really different when you use your headphone.
Yeah, true,
Um,
true. Yeah.
I've been using earphone for the past when I stay at Aswara, just to hear what that bass pattern sounds like. But when I switch to headphone, oh, okay, oh, okay. Now I understand. That's why my answer, I will go for both. So if I was doing mixing or maybe mastering, I use headphone. And if I'm happy with it, and then I go to earbud or earphone, because the driver will be sound the same as the headphone after you mix or master.
Mm-hmm. So the compromise wins lah. So we have to compromise for every consumer on whatever they want.
Yeah.
But um
Uh,
doesn't that affect the quality? Like, for example, it would sound if it sounds the same everywhere, would it be irrelevant for you to listen to that music on a pair of studio headphones if it's just gonna sound the same in the car or a cheap earbud?
Cheap earbud. That one I can't guarantee 100%. But when you say the same device, yeah, it will sound the same. Okay, my headphone, the impedance is very low. I love to hear loud volume, very loud
Yeah.
volume.
Yeah.
If my speaker here is 50, I like to put it 80 because I can't hear the bass. I can
I
hear the
feel
bass.
you. I feel you.
Ah.
Yeah, I feel
So
you.
when I go for my headphone, I can enjoy the volume from mine because the impedance sounds very low, or I can say lower. That's why I go to playing the music in my car, so I can able to hear. Oh, this sounds like it will sound the same, but cheap earbud or cheap earphone, I can't guarantee that because of the driver.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Basically, yeah, because the price itself speaks for the driver itself. So yeah.
So, ladies and gentlemen, in case you ever wondered, like, is it just about making the song? No, it's not just making the song, record it, and then it's done. No, these people actually go into different, like, they go into forests just to listen to the acoustics of the song. No. But I guess the analogy, like, to answer your question in a different way, Razik, it's something like what I realize is people always talk about a high color gamut, like very good
Yeah.
quality panel screen, and I'm editing here, but then I look at my phone, oh, it looks so bad because my laptop screen is not as good as my phone. But then I change on other people's, but you technically can't really win. So I guess
Yeah.
the best is to do the. I think for me personally, like you said, like the compromises wins. It's better to have a standardized good all-rounder rather than, oh, it's just awesome for like cinema viewing, but then you watch on your phone, you know, like, wow, it's like potato
Yeah.
quality. Yeah. Okay, so what about the song itself? What do you guys think about the concept that every music student should actually just listen to high-end lossless audio? This is me trying to be smart, yeah. 96 kilohertz music streaming. I don't know if that's even like high-end quality streaming, and that no more like low MP3 audio. Do you guys agree or not?
Uh, for music student. Sorry, not music. For musician, is it? For
Music
someone who
people,
enjoys
yeah.
music. Yeah.
Yeah.
Um, I would say yes.
Okay.
Sorry, no. I would say no. Sorry. Yeah, I would say no. Cause
No, they should not
uh,
only listen to high-end audio.
yeah, no, they should not listen to high-end audio.
Okay.
I mean, you know, what I'm going to say. It's gonna be actually the answer is sometimes. The answer is actually.
Okay. When are those times?
Uh, okay. It's for me. I think of it like this. You for if you just want to refer to or if you want to just listen to music casually, then just maybe not MP3 lah. Maybe try like something more a bit higher quality. MP3 for me is not really that good, and nobody should ever listen to that right now because of the it's really not good. It's really not good. It's really not a good compromise for music. But but for me to say that everyone should listen to like a hi-fi lossless FLAC files, then no. So maybe just try it. You can just listen to it casually. I mean, if you want to listen to it casually, you should just find like a decent quality music. Unless you wanna really study the music, you really want to study production, you really want to imagine, you want to feel the music itself, how the producers or how the artist wants you to listen to it, staying true to its identity, then yes, go for hi-fi and lossless. But if you say every time, then no. Yeah.
Okay. Any counterpoint from Georgie?
Okay, let me go straight to the point. Talking about music performance, my answer is yes. Because from 1 to 10, not 10 of the musicians, they know this thing. They don't know this MP3 is compressed. They don't even know how to listen it correctly. So when I send my track that I have mixed and mastered to the another musician, they can even differentiate. Oh, this is the compressed. Oh, this is the wave. So my answer is yes, you should listen so you can able to hear the difference between the lossless and the what do you call that? The high end, the hi-fi sound.
Yeah.
It depends on your music genre. If you go for rock, you can hear all low sound, like you want to hear all the treble. So my answer is, even my own brother, he wants to be musician, but you still can even listen the proper sounds that I refer to. Oh, you should listen to this. It sounds nice. This is already mixed, already mastered, but he can't tell the difference. So you will say, oh, this is MP3. No, it's not MP3. It's a wave. So
I
my
hate it when
answer
people
is
do that.
yes. So my answer is yes. You from all musicians should listen all the sounds, whether it's MP3, compressed, wave, M4A, or already been mixed but not mastered, or mixed and mastered. Because honestly, they can't even tell the difference. So if you're able to hear that proper and you can tell the difference, oh, this sounds worse. This sounds sucks. So my answer
I get
is
that.
yes,
I get that. Yeah, I get that. Because in a way, it could count as ear training. It could count as ear training. You let yourself get used to the how let you know the difference between hi-fi and lo-fi. Is it? Yeah, I think so. Yeah.
But the reason I bring this up is because it's just the fact that it's always more pricey, it's always more expensive, right? You want to talk about Tidal or Spotify, like when you pay for it, you get very good audio. When you get the free, I mean, you get the free subscription of Spotify, you can still get good audio quality, but with the what do you call it, all the ads, this video was sponsored. No, I'm just kidding. Yeah, even like focusing on the streaming music or whatever, like I think more often than not, for music people, right, they would rather just have the song rather than go out of their way to get the good quality of the song. And I don't even want to get into the debate of, can you find like high quality of Gregorian chant like 1,000 years ago? Like, yeah, who knows? Like, people have like remastered like.
Oh my.
Yeah, talking about streaming, right? That's why it's been paid, because there's somebody already mixed that proper. But the real musician, normally they wanted to hear like free subscription because they just want to hear the sound first. It is good, they pay. Maybe lah, it's my opinion.
Yeah, most of the time it's human. It's human nature. Like Michael Jackson said, it's human nature.
Okay, so let's get into the instrument side. Like we were talking about all the like listening side. Like, what about the instrument side? Like, should every music person, invest in full weighted keyboard, like a proper. Like I guess that's what Georgie has in her background.
Yeah.
Rather than acoustic piano. This is one of the things. Like I do want to ask you guys, like, instead of having, because don't you guys think? I mean, sorry, some people would think that having like those dusty grand pianos at home, that's outdated, and that takes a lot of space rather than, you know, getting a keyboard. Yeah. What do you guys think?
I'm gonna give
Honestly,
this to
I
Georgie first
say
because she has experience about this.
Yeah, I mean it's right there.
the,
Yeah, it's right there.
okay, your question is invest into the weighted key lah. Of course, the weighted key they have MIDI, right?
Yeah.
But if you depending on your VST, your acoustic piano sound, sometimes you want to adjust your own reverb, but you can't get that. So what you can do is you place your own mic. With the weighted key, you can get that because it depends on your VST. I want my MIDI controller because I have the pad, drum pad, but the keyboard itself you don't have the drum pad. So I want my keyboard
Yeah.
because I want its own original sounds module. Because the VST they don't have that. So I need every detail like drum pad, or maybe I want the sound module, or maybe I just use the VST. So the question invest, yeah, I think you should invest more because that's why other musicians they have bunch of keyboard. Why? You can use one, but because it's different sounds module, sounds engine. So that's why I understand why they invest more. Weighted key. If
Yeah,
you say acoustic piano, I get it why, because they want to hear the real sounds. If you record audio, like you want the real sound
Yeah.
instead of MIDI. Yeah, I think my question is yes.
Yeah. Yeah.
Would you guys think that some people just would rather go for acoustic piano just because it has a more classical nuance? They don't really care about the sound or whatever, but they look at it, it's more professional to have like a proper Kawai or Yamaha or whatever.
There are some people like that. Yeah, I know a few of those people. Yeah, but I mean, I don't want to say anything about it. It's about preferences. So they like it. I don't have a say in it. It's what they do, and they're good at it. So why change?
Yeah, true. Yeah, I agree with it.
Okay. That's a fair point. Now, what about the musicality itself? Should every music person actually learn at least one kind of music software, even if they don't see the reason I keep emphasizing music person, right? Because we're not just talking about like you guys are very embedded in the production side and the performance side, and not me though. But it's still a plus for me to actually learn about some kind of music software just to try my hands out and to actually know what is you know samples, and but not a lot of people would agree. So what do you guys think? Should every music person have their own, not even have their own, but like be able to handle a whole music software themselves?
Yes. How about you, Georgie?
Talking about music production, huh? Well, if you are a music performance student, right? You can depend on you can depend on other person. So you need to learn it by yourself because when you send tracks to people, you need to learn also how to use the DAW software. This is why I learned because my own friend, he always asked me to, can you do this track? I mean, you can do by yourself because we are same classmates. Why can't you do that? So I think my question, my answer is yes. You should learn at least learn something. So you're able like now and still, so you're able to send tracks to other people, right? Yeah. That's my answer is yes.
This
I mean,
is
she has
not
a good point though.
okay, so this is not my question. I just have to disclaim. But some people would say, what's so bad about just propping up your phone right there and then just like, okay, it doesn't have to be a piano, it can be whatever, but just having your phone and then recording it and then sending it to people just like that, or put it up on YouTube, put it up on whatever. For music, like proper music people, and they still do that. Is that such a crime?
Yes, it is for me. Because,
You can be
you know,
convicted by
in
law.
music, it's about yeah, actually, no, I hope so. But what I mean is, I mean, as a music person, you of course you want to have that appreciation on music, and what other way to have that to gain that appreciation than to listen to it, right? So if you listen to a cow, sorry, this is like for example, if you listen to a cow singing on like 2 or 3 kilometers away, okay, for example, this is just an example. Rather if would you rather listen to that, or would you go closer? Which one would you prefer? You understand me? Is it confusing?
Yeah, actually, that's a very good point when you put it that
Yeah,
way.
yeah. Cause I always meet these type of people who are like very, very, very talented in their own instruments and their own music. But when it comes to music production, how they want to produce, how they want to let their music be heard outside, and show it to everyone. It's always a downside because they are very, very talented, but everyone doesn't know that because of the quality that they record, or quality that
Yeah.
they that people hear. They couldn't really hear the good stuff.
The authentic sound.
And it yeah, the authentic sounds. And it's very upsetting because these type of people doesn't want to take initiative to better themselves in this region, in this aspect.
Mm.
I've had an experience where a friend of mine sent me a recording of him playing his instrument, and there's a background sound. And it's not just if it's like a hiss or a buzz or a hum, that's that is fixable, but it's not really good because you're gonna lose a lot of the quality. Even if you use noise remover or noise remover, yeah, even if you use noise remover,
Reduction.
it's gonna affect the tone of your music, because it's gonna take out a few frequency of that hiss and hum, and it's gonna it's really upsetting that musicians, nowadays, the one that I know doesn't really take care into this type of things. They just think of it as silly, nilly willy. So they just, Hazziq, can you do this? Yeah. I would just say yes. But after that, I will send them the altered track. Then I would tell them why it sounds like that. And most of the time they will ask me, why does it sound like this? I didn't record this. This is not me. So yeah, but I would explain to them why it sounds like that. You want me to remove the noise? Yes, I did that, but at a price. Yeah.
Yeah,
So yeah.
yeah, yeah. Georgie, what are your thoughts on this one?
Okay, so point of view, for my point of view, when we talk about social media, you just post your video, right?
Yeah.
So this person, they just post. They are very talented, but they didn't able to use the proper audio. My point of view, I will watch
Yeah.
it first. I will watch it if they are talented. So if you are talented but you didn't sound good, I will watch you first, and then I will prefer, oh, you maybe need a good sound, because why? I will watch you first, then I will hear your audio. So my point of view, if right, so even though if you don't have a good audio but you play good, I will watch you first,
Yeah.
and then I will stick to the second point, which is the sound quality of audio. If you improve this both, yeah, it will sounds good as a musician, because you giving message to other people. Yeah, you're able to play this with your own talented personality. So my point of view, if you didn't go for the good quality but you play good, I still look forward for you.
Yeah, it's very interesting when you put it that way because, yeah, that's a very good point. Musicality it's not just shown orally, like from the audio, but also from the visual. It's very awesome. And you know, this is such an important point that not a lot of people, because my man brought the word willy-nilly, which is not usually heard. But yeah, it's all those finer points, like both of you guys said, like improving on those finer points is just as important as improving on the major parts, right?
Yeah.
So we're
Yeah.
talking about, this is like the DAW, the editing side. What about the like your multi-instrumental capabilities? Should they invest in multiple basic electronic instruments? Talking about like e-drums and keyboards and electric. I mean, electric guitar is quite of a, it's quite undertaking, but you know, even if they are vocalists, they should be able to make a whole song themselves. I would think so. Isn't
Yeah.
that
Yeah.
fair? Yeah.
My point of view, when you're saying invest a lot of music instrument will make you as a multi instrumentalist.
Instrumentalist, yeah.
No, no. Even though I have all of this, doesn't mean I'm good at guitar. I still stick to one my instrument. I only have this because I wanted to do production, music production. So I didn't need to call other instrument. It's just that I'm still not able to play good. Even though I'm still not playing good, but I still able to have my instrument. Doesn't mean if I invest this, I become a multi instrumentalist. No, I still stick to one instrument, which is my own major instrument. But having this or investing all my musical instruments will make you go forward doing a lot of stuff, such as music production, or maybe you can just jam, or maybe just having fun with your talent, your music talent. I have a studio at home. I have three siblings. None of them love to play. So even though if you have all your instrument or you invest a lot of instrument, acoustic grand piano lah, you invest that. So it doesn't make you as a multi instrumentalist, because why? You will always stick to your own instrument. For let's say if you play drum, some drummer they will invest just drum. Okay, I buy another drum, but that doesn't make him a good drummer also. It's just that he just wants to play his own instrument. So by investing all instrument doesn't mean you are multi instrumentalist. It's just that you are enjoying your stuff. It's just that you are enjoying your capability to do other music stuff. For instance, like I have all of this, doesn't mean I'm good at all of this. I'm still look forward my own major instrument. So investing, if you say investing, yes, it's quite financial for the musical instrument. What you can do is you try to develop your stuff first. For instance, if you look forward e-drum, maybe you have a good future in doing a big production. Because playing drum inside the DAW is much different when you play
Oh
on
yeah.
your own, right?
Yeah.
So what I'm saying is, even though you're investing a lot of instrument, doesn't make you as a multi instrumentalist. Unless you are really a multi instrumentalist, then
You
it's
want
all
to
different.
be.
You want to be a multi instrumentalist is a
Yeah.
whole different story.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is my point of view, because when I look at it, I have a friend that also do have all instruments, but he's still playing his own major. He doesn't make it. It doesn't make his own, because he has a lot of instruments. So he's a multi instrumentalist. No, he still can play. He still can't play. So what my point of view is, you are enjoying because you have that stuff, because you are enough. At least you have that stuff at home, or maybe you are enough because you have this stuff you can jam along with your friends. So point of the multi instrumentalist is a wide message. So when it comes to investing, yeah, it's quite really financial. It's quite, how to say that, how to pronounce. It's such a big support, because you need to able to buy this and then you have to play it.
Yeah.
Unless you don't know how to play it, then that's a worst decision ever.
Yeah.
So I just talked with my friend. So when I listen to his answer, so his answer doesn't sound the same as mine, because my point of view, I look forward when you're investing all of this, you have something you want to do with your other stuff. not because you are a musician. Okay, I want to play because I'm a musician. No, I don't look at it because I know one person only able to play one instrument. Like they're
Yeah.
good at it one only. Talking about investing, yeah, it's quite financial, especially for the music stuff.
Yeah, and I agree. I agree in that sense because everybody has their own instruments to go back to, but I would just think that um not a lot of people want to make songs. They want to play music, but they might not want to make songs. So that's why. But that's a very good point that you made. It's supposed to be a representation of you wanting to express your creativity. That's why you invest on it. It's not the other way around. Oh, I have to buy these things. Nobody tells you like you have to buy, but it's actually good. It's actually healthy,
Yeah.
depending on the person.
Okay. Talking also about multi-instrumentalist, right? When talking about buying new stuff, some people uh, keep buying stuff because they want to upgrade. So when talk about investing, also it depends on other person. It depends on person's perspective. Maybe he just focus on two instruments, so they able to use that as a their own talent to express with other instruments. So what I'm saying is you still have the AW to do that all the other stuff, but you need the instrument itself to play along with it. And then my point of view is you are still a multi-instrumentalist.
Yeah, that's a very good point when you put it that way. I guess it goes along with the message of the whole this whole session where it really depends on what you want to do, right? Because even like just now
Okay.
you mentioned about studio, not a lot of people, maybe some people still want to invest in an instrument but not make their own studio. Yeah.
Yeah, correct.
Yeah.
Because I have also my friend, the he keep she keep telling me wanted to buy stuff, but my point of view, you always wanted to buy stuff, but you don't improve yourself to play that instrument. So my point of view, if you're investing all the instrument but you didn't show your own talent, it's just such a waste for investing others instruments. So being able to play that first, then you go for investing musical instrument.
Yeah. That's a very good point. Okay, so you know, Georgia actually raised a good point. Like you're not really a multi-instrumentalist, even though you invest in a lot of electronic instruments. You don't need to have you don't have to make a big studio, a proper studio with all the instruments. But you, Hazziq Aizat, you are a multi-instrumentalist. So how do you contend to her thoughts?
Um. I because okay. The reason why I want to master like not master, but I want to know a lot of instrument is because I want to understand more about the instrument itself. And yeah, because like as a performer, we want to understand the music itself, and we want to have like a good chemistry between all the band members, and when performing. So it's a good idea and skill if you can if you know about instruments other than yourself, so that you know how they work. And right, like for example, if you can play this type of lick or riff, why can't he or she do that? So you have to understand why he or she can do that, even though in your head it sounds good. But it's if it's not, you have to understand that it maybe it's not doable for
Yeah,
them. So
it
you have
doesn't
to have
translate
that
to their side.
understanding. Yeah. And also but if you're talking about generally, if a person should have this type of skill, um I would say it's a great advantages. It is a great advantage for that music person if they have the skills. But do they need to have it? I would say no as well.
Mhm.
And should they invest in a lot of music tech, in building their own studios at home, if you want to go that path, being like for example, the term nowadays is bedroom producer, where you do everything in your bedroom, like me myself. It's a very good thing if you want to invest in that, and it's something that it's quite fairly new. So it's very good, and it's an advantage that you have, rather than a lot of people. So yeah.
That's a very good point that I actually was kind of thinking about it. Like you won't one of the things that I love about Logic is that whatever you play, it will create the waveform, and then you can convert it into a score. I don't know if you guys know that, like Logic
Yeah.
Pro 10, Logic Pro X. Uh, you can actually, but you can't just like you said, like whatever that you can do on a guitar, things like hammering, it would translate differently with a Asia Katuran, a different kind of ornamentation on a piano,
Yeah.
even though
Yeah.
on the score or on the waveform or whatever that you program, it may sound like what you want it to sound, but not to them.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a very good point. Okay, so we were talking about a lot of audio equipment, right? All the headphones, all your listening devices, all your instruments. What about the person themselves? Like we're not even talking about. I don't know if we're even talking about music people, but like specifically for music production people, should they have a wide variety, a wide catalog of musical variety to refer to, so that they can like work with different talents, work with different people, but they can, I mean, with different people, yeah, but they can work with different genres. They themselves won't just be like that one guy, but in the Baroque era, where like all his 50,000 minuets, all his 50,000 pieces just sound like, okay, I don't want to, that guy's rolling in his grave. But yeah, a wide variety, a wide catalog of musical references, especially in a world like today, like you can just go online and just like listen to 100 songs a day. Is that important? You guys think? Oh, okay.
Okay, Georgie nodded.
I not because my point of view, yes.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because I change my taste of music genre oftenly. So by having like, okay,
Yeah,
now
yes,
I'm
same thing. Same thing.
can, because now I wanted to do more lo-fi genre. Basically, I used to play jazz. No, I'm not. Get out of it. So I now wanted to produce more lo-fi song because I listen more from the social media side. They love to hear background music instead of
Yeah. Yeah.
solo music like playing solo. So by having this background
Yeah.
music, you're able to do maybe for YouTuber they need this background music. So by having this wide genre, I think they have a more characteristic or option where you can uh, mm, I would say go for it for my point of view maybe. I don't know about you
Yeah.
guys.
Yeah. I mean, it's what sells, right? Like people like to listen to that nowadays a whole lot more than, yeah, other stuffs. I mean, it's like trending nowadays, right? Even if in TikTok you can hear like a lot of like what's that song? Da, da, ding, 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 da, 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 da. Yeah, that song. It's very lo-fi, and like there's a lot of videos that use that, especially one of those like BuzzFeed or like life hacks.
Mm.
They always like to use those kind of things. It's what sells. I mean, even for my I mean, nowadays, if I have someone, if I have a client, most of them just wants instrumentals. So yeah, it's what sells nowadays.
I think just to clarify on that point, there was a few episodes ago, ladies and gentlemen, that we did clarify about the people generally. We're not going into music people like the average listener, average consumer, they don't want to listen to music. They just want to hear music. And I guess that's what you guys are explaining to. But yeah, that's a very good point.
Yeah.
Because uh, my stat analysis showing that people listen to every era, every music genre era. Because when you're doing TikTok, people just want the background music. So when other people share, so they hear or they're able to know this is the lo-fi background
Yeah.
music. So the music is always followed era by era.
Yeah.
Last time it's a hip hop, and now this time is like maybe lo-fi. So by wide genre, I think my point of view is maybe it can be considered to non-musician because they didn't understand the genre, but they understand the musical era genre.
Yeah. And also because I mean, in my opinion, what I see nowadays is like, even if some people would see lo-fi as in something like very simple, it's just a drum beat and then just a little melody, on top of everything. But it's not just that. Nowadays, it's becoming very complex. You have all your on the production side. You have how to how to mix this, how to master this, and then you have to be the even the composition itself have to be something that is digestible to everyone. Yeah.
Yeah. The something I realized is, you know how easy it is to go on Instagram, take a photo, and then put a filter.
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
can't do that for music. When you do music,
No.
you can't put a lo-fi filter or 80s filter. No,
No.
you have to tweak it to yeah.
I mean, you can do that. It won't sound good, but you can do that.
Yeah, I mean, it's not as easy as just slapping on that one uh
Vinyl effects.
yeah, it's vinyl effects, but it's not a vinyl effect for every instrument. You
Yeah.
know what I
Yeah.
mean?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah. As a music producer, you really have to have this kind of like knowledge, like a library that you can refer to. You know, and it's a good advantage for especially music producers. Yeah.
So let me get this straight. Based on what you guys say, with changing taste, like your taste changes by the days, by the I mean, I don't think I won't speak on your behalf, but I think me personally, I never change my taste. My taste is just wide. I mean, like my top 10 songs are like Bad Country, Tchaikovsky's 1812, and then Taylor Swift's Fearless, and Jason Mraz's
That's
I'm
a
Yours.
that's a big jump from
Yeah,
Bad Country to Tchaikovsky.
Tchaikovsky. Yeah, exactly. And then Linkin Park, and uh, but would that outweigh being a master of none? Okay, it's very good that you want to be a jack of all trades, but would that outweigh you being like, okay, I'm going to go to you, Hazziq Aizat, because you produce this one way, not because you're catering to me, but because I want your what do you call that, signature sound, sonic signature.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Uh, I mean, for me, it's every person has their own role, right? So if you want that particular sound that you want, you should go to that person. But if you want to go, um, but I'm not saying that one person cannot deliver that as well. Okay, some can, some couldn't, some even though some just know the surfaces of it. But yeah, it for because I learned the fact myself. I mean, based on my experience, jack of all trades or master of just one, each have their own role.
Mhm.
That they, it's like a puzzle. Okay, you complete this guy, you fit here, you fit here. Yeah. So it's just up to that particular person which one would be beneficial for them. Yeah. Yeah.
Mhm. Yeah. Again, for the audio listeners, Georgie just nodded again. Just if you watch this on YouTube, you would know. But yeah, that's why. Uh, But actually, that's true. In the industry, I guess you would need every kind of um, music person in that sense, right?
Yeah.
Those who
Yes.
work this way and that way. Those who have multi instruments and not. Those who have uh, a home studio or even a studio. Because I found that that's a very, you can be comfortable in someone's house and make their songs, and then you can be work mode in a studio. Yeah, that also plays a big part. So I guess that's about all the questions that we discussed, we planned out. uh any closing thoughts that you guys want to share before we finish off this episode?
I just wanna say that based on the what we have discussed just now, okay, I just wanna say, and I would like to emphasize it that even though in life, even though they say music is subjective, it's not always like that all the time. And based on what we discussed just now, there are no right or wrong way, but still you have to follow a certain protocol, a certain procedure, on how to accomplish what you want to do. So yeah, and you have to, yeah, and most importantly, you have to have that kind of knowledge on what you want to do. So yeah.
And that conviction, right? Just because somebody says, oh, you don't have, like, one of the things you're talking about, like full weighted keyboards and blah blah blah, or you don't have that full weighted, so you're not really serious on in your music production. That's not
Yeah,
really
yeah,
true. You have to know why you don't have it. Yeah.
yeah. Basically, yes.
Good point of view, Azik, because
Thank you.
what what point that I'm just share about is based on my experience. Number one. So number two, what I'm saying is my point of view is based on I love to against the rule. For instance, if people say, oh, you need to do this. No, why you need to do this? You need to work smart, not work hard.
Yeah.
So sometimes I don't.
Preach.
Yeah, okay, and then you need to find your own niche market. I don't. Okay, but honestly, I don't love classical music. I don't love jazz songs. I
Oops, we
only
just
love
got like 1,000
R&B
comments
songs.
on YouTube.
All those prodigies coming in. Two set is commenting down there.
Yo, okay,
This is
so
sacrilegious.
the one that you mentioned, like you need to follow this person, whether on their career or their masterpiece. So my point of view is some people follow my masterpiece, even though I don't have any influence. I just go whichever I love. Even though my friend they really amazed what I'm doing, but I just don't find my niche. I just love to follow which person is really my niche.
Yeah.
If you, for example, if you both love R&B music, I will go for you guys. I will look for you. We can do beat production together. I love trap. I don't love jazz. I don't love classical. I love trap. So that's my niche. So I look forward to this kind of person.
Yeah.
So every point that I say just now is based on my experience. It's based on I'm saying this is what happening to me.
Yeah,
For instance, that having this investing instrument or the one that you were saying wired, because we have this wireless. So why does
Yeah.
it is issue some latency? It doesn't should
Yeah.
happen this way. So I
Yeah.
just say what's my thought. So this is really my experience that I want to share to all of you guys, because none of this is really a question to my own friend asked me about my
Exactly.
background
Yeah.
music stuff. So thank you for that asking all those questions. It really has to share for my own friends also, my own music friends also.
Yeah. Yeah.
And on that note, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to call it a day on this episode. As you can see, there are a lot of conflicting, contradicting thoughts, but also some of the thoughts are quite in line to the conventional procedures that we would take in music production, in general musicality, actually. I guess at the end of the day, yeah, like both Miss Georgy Hesky and Mr. Hazziq Aizat said, it really depends on you. There is no right way or wrong way. You can't decide something just because you are told about it. You have to know what is the reason that you don't want that thing on its own. And with that, we're going to call it a close. We thank you so much for listening to this episode. If you, as usual, have any questions about this, you can send us an email or a message, and we'll get right back to you, or we'll even discuss this on a future episode. And until then, my name is Bobby Rose. Thank you for listening to the Music Talks podcast. See you.